is going to go through how you add a Pontic to a 3D intraoral scan. Let's say you have a patient that's congenitally missing a lateral or central, and you don't want to make a Holly for them. An easy alternative is to add in a Pontic wax up or virtual tooth, and then make an S6 from it. There are many softwares on the market that can do this for you, and they're pretty easy and intuitive. ULab, Archform, but one software that's free for both the Mac and the PC format is called MeshMixer, and I'm going to run through how you do this with MeshMixer on the Mac. You're going to upload the upper and lower scans, and I actually recommend loading the opposing arch so you can see how the overjet and occlusion fits. You can hide the lower cast by clicking on this eye icon, and I recommend moving it and orienting it in the occlusal view first. To add a tooth, you have to insert or download the Christian Bren's Pontic library. And there'll be a link at the bottom of this video that shows you how to do that. But once it's downloaded, you just click MeshMix, Primitives, and there's the Christian Bren Pontic library. I'm going to add tooth number 7, the upper right lateral. Okay? And what you're tempted to do is normally put it over the ridge. I'm going to tell you not to do it. Why? When you put it over the ridge, the software can't recognize where it's at. And even when you rotate it around, it's really hard to manipulate it, and things just kind of spiral and turn. So we're going to cancel that, get back to the occlusal view, MeshMixer, pick 7, and rather than put it on the ridge, you can put it slightly off a little bit. Okay? Rotate it 90 degrees, move it up and down until you're happy with the vertical position, then get it back to the occlusal view, and now turn it in. Now the temptation might be to toggle to see how the overjet looks. I'm going to tell you don't do that, right? Wait for it, get it close, and click accept. If you toggle in between different files, it's going to make you redo it from scratch. So that's the disadvantage of a free software. Again, I'm going to add now the central. Add it off the ridge, turn it to the frontal view, get it close, go to the occlusal view, go back to the frontal view, make sure things haven't changed. The triangle command tools lets you move the teeth laterally. These arrows lets you move it in that direction. The square lets you change the size. So longer in the green, wider in the red. Right, so I'm going to cancel. Once you cancel out of this, okay, you see how now you really don't have a way to move it. How do you do that? You have to click Edit, Transform. So once you do that, it gets you back to these little cursor arrows that allows you to move it. Again, these are kind of the downsides or side of these free software, is that while they're free, they're not as user-friendly or intuitive. Once I'm happy with the position, I'm going to click accept. And then I'm going to add the last tooth, the upper left central. Okay, so once I select all that, what I do then is go back and show the lower arch. And so then you can really see, do you have adequate overjet? And you can see I've made more than plenty overjet for this. In fact, I can probably afford to go back a little bit. Okay, I didn't finish this case right, so I'm going to have to use ULab to push the upper left 2 a little bit more lingual to get better alignment. But the way we're going to do this is, now that we know we have some overjet to play with, I'm going to highlight the individual Pontic. In this case, I'll start with the lateral first. Click on Edit, Transform. Maybe rotate it in a little bit. There. Change the torque. And if I'm happy with it, click Accept. Highlight Central, Edit, Transform. And again, it's just a matter of how picky you want to do this, okay? I think that you can train a staff to get this close for you, and then you can go through and refine it as needed, okay? So again, obviously the vertical is a little off, so I'm going to move this down here. Except go here. There's a lot of other things you can do. You can use some of the carving tools to change the contour of the teeth. I just think that's a lot of extra work for a retainer. I'll let the prosthodontist tweak with that. So now if I look, the overjet looks a little bit less. This could probably come in a little bit, so let's highlight that. Hide the lower arch. And you can see I probably need to make a couple of liners to tip this lateral in to make the patients completely happy. So once you're happy with the position of these Pontics, okay, and there's a lot of other tools you can use to shave this off if you want to. I usually leave it because it shouldn't affect occlusion. The other thing it does is it makes your S6 thicker so that when they get bone grafting, that part of the plastic won't impinge on the soft tissue. So once you're at the point where you're happy with this, to merge these Pontics into one file, you're going to want to hit the control function on a Mac, and probably the same thing on the PC. Sorry, it's the command function on the Mac and control on the PC. You highlight all the files you want to merge, and then this window appears. When you click Combine, they should change colors. So once they change colors like this, then you can save this. So you can either save it by clicking the export function here or under File, Export. Okay? You want to save it as an STL binary. There's all these different files, but the STL binary works the best. And so now when you open that STL file, it should have all of the Pontics in as one single file, and it's ready to print.